Page 34, circling. 4/4 time. 2 flats. We are in the key of G minor. Make sure you can do the scale for G minor. 2 octaves up and down if you can. Let's take it one hand at a time and check notes and rhythms and fingerings in that. Right hand, you're starting up here. And you're going to move around a lot, so okay. 1 and 2. And you can, if you want, for the next one, come down and use 5 and 1 again. Or you can stay in this position. Stretch out, and it's 5, 2, rest, 4, 1. And you got all of those in one hand position. So that's kind of neat. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And then you come over. If you have a rest, you'd come down. 1 and 2 and. You see the B flats and the key signature? Okay. Next measure, come down 4th finger. That's on 4 and. 4 and. 1 and 2 and. And again, measure 6 and 7. And then measure 8. You're down here. It's a G and a D. And it's the same thing you had up here, except you're down here. And so at 2, 5, 1 and 2 and 3 and. So it's on the end of 1, 1 and the other one is on the end of 3. Isn't this fun? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then come up. I say 5, 2, 1 and 2 and 3. And they're saying thumb. Yuck. I'm going to suggest you do this instead of the 1. I'm going to come down and use 2, 3. And just stay here. Your little finger's going to have to come up to hit the F, but that's okay. So 1 and 2. Then you can if you want, collapse the hand and use 3, 2. That way I don't have to cross over the thumb. I don't have to put the thumb on a black key if I don't want to. If you have little hands, it doesn't matter. You can use the fingering in the book. So 4th and measure 11, it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And then bass clef, you're down here, 3rd finger. And you do that a couple of times. Now measure 17, you're back up here. Again, I recommend 2, 5. 1 and 2 and 3. See, this is on beat 3 here. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now, on measure 18, you need 5th finger on that 8th note C. At least it makes it easier if you do. So if you use 4th finger, then put 5th finger on it. Then you do it again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Of course, you can do that, and you don't have to worry about it. It's 5th finger's there. The last measure is a G with an 8 VA over it, so you got to come up here. Now, to get there, let's go back a couple measures. For those 8th notes, you're here. Whatever note you play that whole note G on, or the 8th note G, I should say, it's tied to a whole note. Substitute and put your thumb on it. You got plenty of time. Put your thumb on it, and that way when it comes time to play the last note, you're just reaching up an octave and hit it here. Because you got to be focusing on the left hand here. It's got to move a long way. And it's easier if you don't have to, both hands are moving here, so if you can just reach up with the right hand, that makes it easier. So whatever note you play that last G on, put thumb on it so you can reach up. That's all. Left hand broken chords here, just no big deal. Remember the E flats and the key signature. And that's okay because they're all blank keys, so fat fingers or not, you can do that. So just, you're moving around, but connect them as best you can. Last couple measures, you're here. That last note is below the 3rd ledger line. Well, figure it out. 1 ledger line is E, 2 is C, 3 is A, so that has to be a G. Makes sense, it's G minor. But you got to come down here in rhythm. 1, 2, 3, 4. You may have to practice that. That's why I said get your right hand where it needs to be so you can focus on the left hand. Put the hands together. Well, the left hand here is kind of your drum or your bass, your string bass that's going up. It's keeping the beat, just a steady beat going. And then the right hand is doing whatever. So it's here. 1 and 2 and 3. Right there. This is measure 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, and these are in between. 1 and, 2 and. So they're in between. And then going on. That's a G there. And there on measure 13, I recommend you put 5th finger on that last note. That way you're ready to go on. You can play that more legato. Again. Measures 17. 1 and 2, 3. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Down and go. So forth. Then at the end, the last 3 measures, you're here. Again, substitute here so you're ready to go. Because you gotta go. And once you get that, you can get the hesitations worked out. Put in the articulation, the slurs and the accents and the staccatos at the beginning. The left hand, it says LH legato, which means left hand legato, which means you just connect the left hand all the way through as best you can. Yeah. The only exception I see to that would be the very last measure where it's a staccato and an accent. That's to match what the right hand is doing. But otherwise, connect this left hand as best you can. You can't connect it total, but do the best you can. The right hand, we got accents. That first note, give a little extra push. And then staccato. So you got accents occasionally. Accent. Now in the left hand, measure 6, you got accent. Staccato. Going on, this is measure 9. So it's accent. Now that second note is not a staccato. However, considering how fast this goes, you just as well do it. And again, a measure 14, accents. Give the accents in the left hand. So go back to measure 12 here. Then measure 17. Their accents and staccato. The accents, and then an accent staccato. Let the wrist come up a little bit when you don't go. Just let it come up on the end. Then we can add the dynamics. Well, that's to the right hand. This left hand needs to be in the background, and that's going to be a problem because once you get going with this, it just kind of gets loud all by itself. So you're going to have to make an effort to keep the left hand out of the way. So moderately loud at the beginning, whatever you think that is. The accented note's going to be a loud one then. So forth, and the left hand is soft. Crescendo up on measure 5 and then go back down. And that's really the left hand. That's really the left hand's going to have to do that. And the left hand is under the right hand anyways, but you can still crescendo even though the left hand is background. It can still get louder and softer. It's just not going to be as loud as what the right hand would do. So it's just, maybe you only go up to moderately soft. That makes the accented notes moderately loud. Back down to soft. Starting at measure 5 here. Now at measure 8, we're moderately soft in the right hand. The left hand has to be softer. Then moderately loud. So it's just that one measure, you're soft. Now you're going to crescendo up to loud for measure 11. Down to moderately soft. That's the left hand has got to be softer than that. So again, starting at measure 11, the pickup to measure 11, you're moderately loud, going to go up to loud. Soft. And then on measure 14, you come down to soft. So you made 2 statements there in the third line. This one, at moderately soft, and then you say it again, only softer. It's like it was just a big long diminuendo there. And then 16, this is very soft except for the accents. And now you're going to crescendo up. You might get up to moderately loud in the left hand because it's the right hand that's loud. And with the accents, that makes them very loud actually. And then you have a diminuendo there at measure 19. You're going to go back down to moderately soft for measure 21. You start measure 19 at loud and then start coming down. So you have to plan it out. Loud, and then moderately loud, moderately soft, you're down in there. That makes the left hand very soft. And you're going to crescendo for the last 4 measures up to very loud. You have to watch out on these crescendos and decrescendos to make sure the tendency is to do it too soon. It's like in the last line where it says crescendo here in this. The tendency is you want to be loud in the next measure, and that's too soon. You're moderately soft. This could be moderately loud, and then you come up a little bit. Now loud. There. So you save most of your crescendo to the end of that. Then we talk about the speed. Well, they give a metronome marking, and it's unsettling, but I think the rhythm and the notes will be unsettling enough. You don't have to worry about that part. I think that's about where I've been doing it. Just don't rush it. I'd like to play this with you very slowly to double check the notes and the rhythms. Not going to do any dynamics, but I'll do the staccatos and the accents and stuff. So I'll give us 4 counts. Let's just go over it very slowly. 1 and 2 and ready and go and.